Daddy, don't be mad. Mummy said God would send someone if we stopped talking. The briefcase slipped from his hand and thudded against the hardwood floor. 4 tiny voices, voices that had been gone for 8 months, rose at once, laughing, crying, colliding in the air like something resurrected. Ethan staggered backward, his heart slamming against his ribs, staring at the kitchen like he'd walked into a miracle or a crime scene. The maid froze. The girls stood on the table, and somewhere between the sound of their voices and the smell of sugar and morning light, Ethan realized the silence he'd been praying to God about had already been answered. Welcome back, family. If you're here again, I believe it's not by accident. Maybe you're carrying something heavy, or maybe you just needed a reminder that God still shows up in quiet, unexpected ways. Wherever you're watching from, you belong here. So take a breath, settle in, and let this story meet you right where you are. And if it touches your heart, stay with us, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need this hope today. Ethan Cole was a man who could fix markets, companies, and broken deals, but he could not fix the silence in his own home. Lauren died giving them life, 4 daughters at once, Avery, Quinn, Madison, Lily. Boston's best surgeons couldn't save her. The funeral in Cambridge felt like someone else's nightmare, rain hammering the black umbrellas, while Ethan held 4 tiny hands that didn't understand forever. 3 years old now, and they hadn't spoken since that day. Yale specialists had no answers, neither did the therapists who filled his marble foyer with concerned faces and useless clipboards. So Ethan did what he knew. He ran. Private jets to Manhattan, boardrooms until midnight, anything but the Connecticut mansion that echoed with everything unsaid. The girls played together silently, like ghosts haunting their own childhood. Then one morning, Ethan found them standing in a perfect circle in Lauren's old studio, heads tilted the exact same way, staring at the empty rocking chair that hadn't moved in 3 years. It was moving now. Ethan hired Rosa Alvarez the way he hired everyone, through an agency, a background check, a signature. She arrived from Bridgeport with a quiet smile and references he never read. He barely looked at her. Rosa noticed everything he didn't, how the girls flinched at loud voices, how their meals sat untouched, pushed around plates like prayers they couldn't say, how they clutched each other's hands in doorways as if the house itself might swallow them whole. The other staff whispered about trauma. Rosa saw something different. She hummed while she cleaned, moved slowly, never demanded eye contact, and when the girls watched her from the stairs, she didn't try to make them speak. She was trying to make them feel safe. If you've ever been the person everyone overlooked, the one who saw what others missed, you know how powerful quiet presence can be. Sometimes, the most important people enter our lives unannounced. Then, one morning, Rosa found something in Lauren's old desk drawer. A letter, addressed to whoever came after her. The panic attack hit during the quarterly review. Ethan's chest tightened, the boardroom walls closing in. He mumbled an excuse and left, Manhattan's chaos blurring past as his driver navigated home. Home at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Unheard of. Then he heard it. Laughter. Real, bubbling, childlike laughter echoing from the kitchen after 8 months of silence. His briefcase hit the floor. He moved toward the sound like a man in a dream, each step heavier than the last. The kitchen doorway framed something impossible.
4 little girls standing on the table in matching blue dresses, hands moving in fluid, purposeful gestures. Rosa faced them, signing back with gentle precision. They weren't mute. They'd been speaking a different language all along. The girls turned, saw him. 4 pairs of eyes went wide, not with joy, but something else entirely. Then 4 small hands moved in perfect unison, signing words that made Rosa's face drain of color. Daddy's not supposed to know.
Ethan's knees buckled. He caught himself against the doorframe, chest heaving like he'd surfaced from drowning. Rosa moved toward him, slow and deliberate. "Mr. Cole, please sit." "How long?" His voice cracked. "How long have they been—" "Since I arrived." She guided him to a chair. "My son was deaf. Miguel. Lost him 3 years ago in New Haven. Intersection accident. Drunk driver." The kitchen tilted. "I saw it immediately. Trauma silence. Your wife, she researched this." Rosa pulled out a laptop from the drawer, Lauren's laptop. "She left something. Said if they ever stopped speaking, you'd need to see it." The screen flickered to life. Lauren's face appeared, pale but smiling, recorded weeks before she died. "Ethan, if you're watching this, it means they've gone quiet. Don't panic, baby. They're not broken." Her hand reached toward the camera. "They're trying to tell you something I never could." If this story is stirring something in you, a memory, a regret, a hope you thought was gone, then it's doing what it was meant to do. Subscribe if you believe love leaves instructions we're meant to follow. Lauren's voice continued from the screen. "They'll need someone who understands grief doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it just stops talking." Ethan's tears fell silent and heavy. That night, he sat on the kitchen floor with his daughters. Rosa handed him a chart, basic signs. "Hello, I love you, I'm here."
His hands fumbled. The girls giggled, then showed him again, slowly, patiently. Weeks turned to months. Ethan left the office at 3. Board meetings became video calls. Bedtime stories transformed into signing sessions, tiny hands correcting his clumsy gestures. Then, one morning, Lily whispered, "Daddy!" Just that, nothing more needed. By spring, the Lauren Cole Center opened in New Haven. Rosa cut the ribbon as director, not employee. A place where silence wasn't something to fix, but something to understand. If this ending reminds you that healing isn't about going back to who we were, but becoming who we're meant to be, share it. Someone's waiting for permission to change. Ethan learned what Lauren knew all along. Love doesn't end when words do. It just learns to speak differently.